There's been a lot of buzz lately about the Pittsburgh Steelers and their potential to be serious Super Bowl contenders in 2025, and honestly, I'm right there with the excitement. This week, Peter Schrager from ESPN made some bold claims on the Pat McAfee show that really got me thinking. He's been shouting it from the rooftops on every ESPN platform he can get onto. He believes that with Aaron Rodgers at quarterback, the Steelers are in a position to compete at the highest level. And the way he breaks it down, it all makes sense. Now, I know a lot of folks have their reservations about Rodgers, his age, the drama around his arrival, the uncertainty of what kind of form he'll bring. These are all valid points, but Schrager's argument is rooted in the reality that Rodgers hasn't missed much playing time. And this situation in Pittsburgh is very different from what he faced before. This isn't just some random signing, it's a calculated move with a one-year deal. That motivates both the quarterback and the veterans around him to push for greatness. To me, this looks like the best situation the Steelers have had in years. And there's a real sense that this group is going to rally behind Rodgers. Schrager even pointed out something crucial. The Steelers didn't just throw around money for the sake of it. When you're paying a guy $30 million a year, especially a 41-year-old quarterback, you better have Super Bowl expectations. This isn't a franchise that settles for mediocrity. And these moves show their intent to push beyond that. People have been quick to say things like, well, if the Steelers really wanted Justin Fields, they would have paid him the big bucks. And that's exactly the point. Since Fields didn't get that money, it's clear the Steelers saw their path with Rodgers instead. Rodgers comes with a more reasonable price tag of about $10 million per year, potentially reaching $20 with incentives, which is a tremendous value if he can still perform at a competitive level. The Steelers are rolling the dice here because they're done being average. They believe Rodgers might be the piece that pushes them over the edge, and honestly, I love that Peter Schrager is standing firm on this at ESPN. There's a lot of noise out there from various analysts saying the Steelers won't succeed with Rodgers as their quarterback. But Schrager's take is refreshingly optimistic and aligns with what many of us who follow the team closely have been thinking. This belief that the Steelers are close to breaking through is palpable. They feel that Rodgers, even if he's not at his absolute peak, can elevate the team enough to compete for a Super Bowl. It's a win-now mentality. Plain and simple, they didn't want Fields enough to outbid other teams, so Rodgers became the clear choice. Schrager gets this, and so do I. This isn't just a nostalgic signing or a gamble on a fading star. It's a strategic move based on experience and leadership that the Steelers desperately need. So now I want to hear from you. Do you think Pittsburgh is a legitimate Super Bowl contender with Aaron Rodgers under center this season? Drop a yes or no down in the comments. Let's get that conversation rolling. Switching gears just a bit, we also got the latest update on superstar edge rusher TJ Watt and his ongoing contract negotiations with the Steelers. Schrager didn't hold back here either. He said that both sides are genuinely motivated to get a deal done quickly, so they don't drag this out into training camp, which could cause distractions. The dominoes have already started falling with Rodgers in place, and now the focus is on locking down Watt, who is obviously a critical piece of the puzzle. Schrager mentioned that the deal isn't a slam dunk yet, because Watt is holding out for a certain amount of money. But there's this interesting dynamic where it almost feels like a game of chicken. Watt might take the deal the Steelers offer, only to have Micah Parsons blow that number out of the water shortly after. And then we could be back to square one with negotiations. Parsons and Watt are both top-tier defenders who believe they should be the highest paid at their position, which adds another layer of complexity beyond just the team and the player. It's a fascinating situation to watch because the Steelers want Watt. Watt knows his value, and Parsons is indirectly influencing the market. Schrager's insight here is sharp. This isn't just about Steelers versus Watt. It's about Watt versus Parsons, both jockeying for the biggest payday. Adam Schefter weighed in as well, predicting that Watt's contract will likely fall somewhere between the numbers we've seen for Myles Garrett and Max Crosby, in the range of about $35.5 to $40 million per season. He also expects Parsons to secure the highest ever defensive contract in NFL history. So Schefter sees Watt not surpassing that top number, but still commanding a hefty deal. I really hope Schefter's assessment turns out to be true because, from the Steelers' perspective, they want to avoid overpaying if they can. But given Watt's importance and the Steelers' ambition to contend this year, I wouldn't be surprised if the final figures lean more toward Watt demanding to be the highest paid non-cornerback defender in the league, especially considering his track record and production. At the end of the day, I'm not worried about the Watt situation. Both sides want a deal done, and usually when that's the case, it happens. The Steelers know they need Watt on the field if they want to make a serious run at the championship, so I expect them to eventually meet his demands. That's just smart football business. Now, before we get into some other topics, let me give you a little more color on the Deshaun Elliott extension yesterday. I posted a quick breakdown on this, but I wanted to dive deeper because this move makes a lot of sense. Elliott signed a 2-year, $12.5 million extension, which is a solid deal for someone who was a reliable contributor last year. Sure, he might not have gaudy stats, just 1 interception, 6 pass breakups, and a little over 100 tackles, but anyone who watched the Steelers' defense knows Elliott is everywhere on the field and is one of the most dependable tacklers in the entire league. In fact, according to Pro Football Reference, of the 53 players who recorded over 100 tackles last season, Elliott had the lowest missed tackle rate at just 2.7%. That's impressive when you look at his career grades. He's consistently ranked in the top half of NFL safeties every season he's been graded by PFF, with last year being arguably his best season, ranking 27th out of 98 safeties. From a scheme perspective, Elliott is a perfect fit for Pittsburgh. He's sound, reliable, and offers great value as an affordable piece next to Minkah Fitzpatrick, who is the defensive star of the team. General Manager Omar Khan made a smart move locking him up for a couple more years. This isn't just about stats. It's about having a player who consistently makes the right plays and can be counted on in critical moments. Lastly, I want to address a narrative that's been swirling around Steelers fans online lately, and that's the idea that Mike Tomlin is somehow on a 2-year deal with the team. There are rumors suggesting he might be leaving after any given season, or that the team is hesitant about his future. Honestly, I don't buy into that. Tomlin loves coaching the Steelers, and he just signed a 3-year extension last year. The idea that he's on some short-term contract that gets revisited every single year is simply not true. He approaches this job with a year-by-year mindset, sure, but that doesn't mean he's looking to leave or that the team is trying to push him out. That said, this year is going to be pivotal. The defense is aging. Cam Hayward has just 2 years left on his deal, and the team is bringing in an older Rodgers. If this season doesn't pan out, the Steelers might have to seriously think about a reset, which could involve moving on from Tomlin. But if the Steelers make the playoffs and compete, I expect Tomlin to be back leading this team in 2026. The playoffs will be the true marker for his future. All this sets the stage for a fascinating year in Pittsburgh. The moves, the negotiations, and the expectations are all pointing toward a critical chapter for the franchise. The question is, can Aaron Rodgers live up to the hype? Can the defense hold strong with players like Watt and Elliott locked in? And will Tomlin guide them through this crucial period? The answers are coming, and I can't wait to see how it all unfolds. Moving beyond the Steelers, let's talk about some of the ripple effects these moves have across the NFL landscape. When a team like Pittsburgh decides to bring in a veteran quarterback like Aaron Rodgers, it doesn't just affect their own locker room. It sends a message to the entire league. Other franchises watch closely and adjust their plans accordingly. The ripple effect can be seen in how teams evaluate their own quarterback situations and salary cap priorities. For example, teams with young quarterbacks who haven't quite taken that next step might feel pressured to make bold moves in free agency or trades. The Rodgers signing tells the league that experience and leadership still matter, especially when you're gunning for a championship. But before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to Steelers Nation Central and hit the like button on this video. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the Pittsburgh Steelers. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. In a stunning twist that's already setting the NFL world on fire, rumors are swirling that wide receiver Keenan Allen has agreed to a lightning-fast contract with the Pittsburgh Steelers. If true, this unexpected move could trigger a seismic shift in the team's offensive dynamics under head coach Mike Tomlin, promising nothing less than a revolution on the field. Keenan Allen, known for his precise route running, reliable hands, and clutch performances, has long been a standout at the receiver position. His presence in the Steelers' offense could instantly elevate their passing game, providing quarterback Kenny Pickett with a trusted target capable of stretching defenses and creating explosive plays. The whispers suggest that this deal happened rapidly, catching many by surprise given the Steelers' traditionally conservative approach in free agency. The potential acquisition of Allen would mark a bold departure from the Steelers' usual strategy, signaling that Tomlin and the front office are ready to invest heavily in their offensive weapons. The Steelers have struggled in recent seasons to maintain consistency through the air, often relying heavily on their defense and rushing attack. Allen's addition could be the spark to transform Pittsburgh into a more balanced and unpredictable team. Fans and analysts alike are buzzing about what this means for the Steelers' roster construction. Pairing Allen with existing talent such as Diontae Johnson and George Pickens would create one of the most formidable receiving corps in the league. This could force opposing defenses into tough choices, stretching them thin and opening up opportunities across the board. While nothing is confirmed yet, the buzz alone has ignited excitement around Pittsburgh, a city hungry for a resurgence after a few years of offensive struggles. If Allen's move materializes, it could also send a strong message throughout the NFL that the Steelers are ready to contend aggressively once again, not just leaning on tradition, but embracing a modern, high-octane attack. Stay tuned as this story develops. If Keenan Allen really has committed to Pittsburgh, the NFL landscape could be about to shift dramatically, with the Steelers at the forefront of what might become one of the most exciting offensive revolutions in recent memory. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Pittsburgh Steelers, make sure to subscribe to Steelers Nation Central and give this video a like. We always look forward to hearing your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.